The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Welcome to Thank God It's Monday. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs. Joining me is Ted Fells, and we are the Digital Dudes. And today, we want to talk to you about the difference between those making $40,000 and those making $8 million. So
Mm.
this came from, I saw an interview with Barbara Corcoran. Barbara Corcoran, she's built this 9-figure real estate brokerage firm, and she is one of the sharks on Shark Tank. And so she was being interviewed on Business Insider, and she was asked to explain the difference between those real estate professionals who make $40,000 and those who are making $8 million. And her answer surprised me. And it really has everything to do with how we approach our Mondays. I would have never thought she would have said what she would have said, Ted. Here's
Mm.
what she said. Here's what she said separated those making 40K from those who are making 8 million. She said, it's not how well they sell. It's not even how well they talk. It's how well they can take a hit and how long they feel sorry for themselves.
Mm.
In other words, she was saying that the people who were making 8 million, they didn't feel sorry for themselves long, right? They could take a hit and they just bounced back and they kept it moving. The other thing that she said was very interesting was that some of her hardest workers were some of her worst performers. That didn't do with hard work and talent and skill, all the things we think. It was all about how well they can take a hit and how long they felt sorry for themselves. And so there's a question that you can ask yourself. Remember at the opening, I said it's about the quality of the questions you ask yourself. There's a question you can ask yourself that can literally make the difference from being a 40K earner to an $8 million earner. Here's the question: how can I make this bad thing the best thing that's ever happened to me?
Mm.
Ted, let me say it again for the people in the back. Here's the question: how can I make this bad thing? How can I make this bad experience the best experience or the best thing that ever happened to me? For example, I didn't get the contract. I didn't get approved for the loan. I've been passed over for a promotion. Ask yourself that question: how can you make that bad thing the best thing that's ever happened to you? And the answer to that question really will position you to shout, thank God it's Monday. Ted, what are your thoughts?
Man, how do you make that disappointment be a driver
Yep.
for you? I have this shirt that says, it has a quote from Nelson Mandela, so that I never, I never lose. I never lose. I learn.
Hmm.
Right. So if you take those experiences and use them as learning experiences and something to drive you and keep that fire going, I can see how that can take you to those next levels. I mean, if you sit there and you just keep you fall and you got to get up and brush yourself off, man, lick your wounds and get back into it, man. If you're down in the dumps, the longer that you're down in the dumps is and that's just not going to help you to get to where you need to be. So I think you have to take that and use that disappointment for fuel.
Right. There you go. Turn your failure into fuel. That's
I like that. That's a good one right there. Let's turn that failure into fuel.
that's right. And that's
Ooh,
a tweetable quote, Ted. We got to put the
yeah.
hashtag failure
And
into fuel.
failure into fuel.
Absolutely. And see, that explains why two people can experience the same event but have a totally different response. One
Absolutely.
one person is going into a depression, the other one is moving forward and learning from it and using it as fuel so they can win the next time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling y'all, if we can embrace this, everybody watching me, listening to me, if you can embrace that one thing, it can really shift your perspective on Mondays or any day of the week.
Yeah.
So I hope you get that. Turn your failure into fuel, like Ted said.
Ooh.
Oh,
Man,
that's powerful.
that is. I just because it's so easy to just get in the dumps and just stay there. I have friends, just talk to them, and they just kind of they're in the dumps and they just dig deeper and deeper and just keep digging themselves deeper. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like you gotta be able to turn that around. Even if and like for me sometimes I may be like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna just vent on this thing just for today. Like this evening, whatever. That next day you gotta be back at it. You cannot let that thing go multiple days and weeks and all of that because it's draining. It's not doing anything for you. So yeah, so you gotta take that, like I said, that failure and you gotta make it fuel. It's gotta fuel you to drive forward and achieve what your expectations are.
For sure. All right. So that's our time for this week on Thank God It's Monday. And until next time, have a great one.